You want a different life? Well, you got to tell a different story. I'm Brian Withers, empowerment coach, trainer, and author. The story that you're telling really is that story about the things in your life. And if you were to sit down and write a story, the story that you're currently telling about the things, the people in your life, I got a list here, like if you look at family members, your vocation, traffic, government, relationship, self, health, employees, food, friends, house, car, money, neighbors. It's a longer list than that, obviously, but give you an idea. If you were to sit down and write the story, if you look at some part of your life, one of these parts or another part, and it's not going the way you want it, I will guarantee you, if you sit down and write the story, the way you're talking about that story in terms of your life, I bet you're going to find it's a very negative story. Because when you tell a story that's low vibration, then you're going to get a low vibration life. And it's so odd, it's interesting that we want the better life, right? We have a job, we want the better job experience, and it's, of course, all created, as we know from the creative process, ready for us to receive. But so many times we get focused on talking about that job we have in such a negative way, as though that's going to somehow give us what we want. You think about that. Low vibration thoughts to get a high vibration result. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You've got to get out a new storybook. You've got to tell a story that's a good feeling story about what you have, even if it's not 100% what you want physically, but emotionally, you've got to get a new story about it. And you've got to have a good story about yourself, for sure, and you've got to have a good story about your dreams and desires. That's just 3 basic mandatory stories that you must have. But to go along with that, so you can receive the path of details to the things that you want, you need the stories that you have daily, you want them to be all good. So as you're going through your day and the different people that you're running into and the different aspects and segments of your day, it would be very, very valuable for you to write down the stories. Have a story. Because you're in training. You got to understand. Humanity, we're in training to learn how to use our conscious thinking mind. We just didn't learn to use it, so we got really sloppy with it. And in the sloppiness, a lot of negativity got in there. And so the stories that we have about different people, maybe about ourselves, about relationships, about government, about traffic, you name it, all these different things of life, we got stories about them. You can guarantee you have a story about them. So I would be writing down all the stories and make sure that they're coming from the new book, not the old book. You don't want the old story that's really a low vibration story, a story that's out of alignment with what you want. You want all your stories. So catch yourself in a negative feeling thought about something or someone, and that's a place where you need a new story. So I would definitely, whether you do it on a computer or in a notepad or whatever, I would get out something and call it your storybook, your new storybook, your new high vibration storybook, your new alignment storybook, your new storybook that's going to allow you to receive all of your dreams and desires. You call it anything you want, but you got to make sure all your stories, and also take notice when you're talking with the people in your day and you notice the kinds of stories they're talking about. You don't want to be around that. Either you change the topic, guide it in a gentle way, in a nice way, into something that feels good, or gracefully remove yourself from the conversation. You don't want to listen to other people's stories, low vibration stories. That's not helping them nor you. So stories are a big thing, and we're telling them all the time, all day long, about all the things in our life. And you can see, if you're telling those old stories from the old book, right, then you're dumping low vibration energy in your daily vibration bucket. And we said we want 100% We want to achieve our natural potential for high vibration every day. And that natural potential is 100%. 100%, because we, as human beings, with our powerful, conscious thinking mind, we can think a thought independently and unconditionally from any situation. And so we're able to choose a good feeling thought, a thought that's in alignment about anything, no matter what kind of state it's in. We have that ability, and we want to exercise it, and we want to train our mind back into it, because we want this bucket filled with high vibration energy. Because guess who's looking at it? Law of attraction. Law of attraction is checking out your bucket all day long, in general and on specific things. And guess what? Whatever it gets, it's going to connect you, either with vibrational reality, your dreams and desires, and the lovely path, or the train wreck and the rodeo ride that takes you to it. And you don't want to go to the rodeo ride. You don't want to end up in the train wreck. You want your life to flow in pleasant ways. And if you do, and I know you do, then you got to do your part. And here's your part. You've got to have good feeling stories about all of this stuff here in your life. And the sooner you get that together, then the sooner you can start being aware of how you're talking about things. See, that'll help you to train your mind, because as soon as you have that negative feeling thought, you can literally pull out that story and you can say, okay, I wasn't going to think that way anymore because it's not serving me and it's bringing me things that I don't like. So let me just take a minute here and refamiliarize myself with the new story. And once you do that for a little while, then it will become fluent and you'll just bring it in, and then it will get automatic and you won't even think the other thoughts anymore. But you want your new storybook. It is such an important, valuable part of you retraining your mind to its natural high vibration state. And if you want a different life, this is a very, very good way, very powerful way, very easy way to get your conscious thinking mind trained back into its natural high vibration state. And as you do that, you repattern, rehabit your conscious thinking mind. That will automatically take care of your subconscious mind. It will displace those faulty beliefs, because as we say, a belief is a automatic thought. So if you got new automatic thoughts going and you intentionally choose them repetitively, they are going to displace the old story on that topic. So that's, you're really taking care of two things at once as you're retraining your conscious thinking mind, and you're going to strengthen that muscle, because we certainly did not grow up with a strong conscious thinking mind muscle. Very weak, very, not intentionally, but it got really lazy, and we got really careless with it, and we got really sloppy with it. And that's why our vibration often is low and our life is not the way we want it to be. We really want to tune up that conscious mind of ours and get that really in shape. And this is the way. This is a very, very powerful way that you can do it. You start to tell new stories about the different facets of your life. So you talk about the positive perspectives of the things. You talk about if you had neighbors, let's say you have what you consider to be an unruly neighbor. Okay, if you keep talking about them and complaining about them and all that kind of thing, they're going to keep being that way. The law of attraction is going to connect you at that level of vibration with them. But if you say, okay, well, at the very least, I appreciate the contrast, because what I really want are neighbors that are X, Y, and Z. Okay, so that's a standard way to start it off. And then you can say, well, okay, well, I've got that story. That's me. It's coming to me. I'm not blaming them for being the way they are, because I've got a vibration. I got a belief in me that's connecting me with them. Maybe what am I thinking? What's that belief? Maybe I think people are disrespectful or whatever. I've got some story going on about neighbors. So right there, you get a direct link to an old story that you've been telling, whether it's about yourself or just people in general or neighbors or whatever it is. But you got a story that you got to rejig. You got to bring that around to a positive story about how you want neighbors or your experience with neighbors to be. And as you talk about that and find some positive aspects, who knows what you can find there. Those are two for sure that you can always default find. But, maybe there's almost always other general positive aspects you can find about a situation. And that's really, quite frankly, what you must do, because you must change the energy. In this example, about neighbors. You must change the neighbor story. Because if you don't, then it can't change, you see, because it's just going to manifest according to that energy. So when you start talking differently with yourself, you're setting up a new story, you're setting up new energy, new vibration, new beliefs, and then the physical world will catch up. Something will happen. I don't know what it is. Maybe they'll move away. Maybe you'll move away. Maybe they got it in them to be high vibration, and you'll draw that out of them. Maybe it'll turn into a really good neighborly relationship. But something is going to happen to match your new story on the inside. Okay? And it's the same with every single thing here in your life. So you want to really think about this storybook business and the stories that you're telling yourself. And I'm pretty sure you're going to find that you got a few stories going on that once you look at them, you're going to look and say, that story is not serving me at all. I got to get that story changed. So you go to work on that and you get a new story going. Okay, so that's the video for today. Wanted to hit home that message about the power of stories. And if you have any questions, leave them on the post, and enjoy your day.